I'm going to reveal a brutal truth about your life. The real battle isn't out there. It's not your boss, not your ex, not that cold text message or a crashing market. The real battle is deep inside your mind. Every single day, we let tiny things shatter our peace. A ringing phone, a stranger's negative comment, a traffic jam. We scroll, we compare, and we react. We willingly surrender our mental power to things we cannot control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That line is not merely philosophy. It is a weapon against the chaos of the modern world. Today, we aren't talking about fleeting motivation. We are going to build your mental armor, 8 timeless Stoic principles that will rewire your mind, so that no one and nothing can steal your peace ever again. 1. Embrace discomfort like a friend. Why is it that we actively avoid everything that could make us stronger? The cold, the silence, confrontation, pain. We treat these things as enemies, to be eliminated, instead of teachers to be studied. Modern society has molded us into fragile creatures. We chase warmth, validation, convenience, and with every step toward comfort, our resilience is eroded. In an era where a weak Wi-Fi signal is considered suffering, and the smallest inconvenience sends us spiraling, comfort has become the most silent poison of the modern world. It sedates your potential, it softens your discipline, and it makes you forget your extraordinary capacity to endure. The philosopher Seneca wrote, "The man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power." What he meant was this: when you willingly step into hardship, you strip fear of its fangs. We are not afraid of the cold shower. We are afraid of the interruption of habit, afraid of the mental shock. The body and mind grow only through resistance. Look at Marcus Aurelius. He faced war, plague, and betrayal, but he ruled himself before he ruled an empire. His strength did not come from privilege, but from the daily acceptance of discomfort as a powerful ally. Think of it this way: comfort is like a soft sofa. Sitting too long atrophies the muscles. Discomfort is like a hard wooden bench. Initially unpleasant, it forces you to maintain posture and focus. The happiness trap. We are taught to chase pleasure and avoid pain at all costs. Stoicism whispers the opposite. Train for hardship so that nothing external can command your emotions anymore. Every voluntary act of discomfort is a rehearsal for the inevitable storms of life. When you choose discipline over ease, you prove that you are the master, not the puppet. Start small. Take the cold shower, feel the shock without running from it. Sit in silence for 10 minutes and resist the urge to grab your phone. Walk into the conversation you've been avoiding. The man who can suffer willingly can never truly suffer again. He has turned pain into practice, befriended what others fear. For him, discomfort is no longer chaos. It is clarity. 2. Control your emotions before they control you. You can master every strategy, every skill, every rule for success. But if you don't master your emotions, you will remain a slave to them. A single insult, a minor failure, one small trigger, and your peace collapses. We often think emotions are commands we must obey, but they are only messengers. And like all messengers, they should be heard, not worshipped. Epictetus famously said, It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Those 13 words are the cornerstone of emotional freedom, because when you realize every external event passes through the filter of your own interpretation, you reclaim control. No one can truly upset you without your permission. Modern life teaches us to express everything, to react instantly, to post, reply, argue, prove. We confuse self-expression with self-mastery. Stoicism understands this clearly. Reaction is weakness disguised as honesty. A strong person doesn't suppress emotion, they structure it. They pause, breathe, and choose their response. That pause, those few seconds between stimulus and reaction, is the birthplace of your power. Imagine this. Anger flares. Don't rush to defend yourself. Observe it. Feel it rise. Silently label it. This is anger. That's it. Instantly, you've created distance. The storm is still there, but you are no longer standing in the middle of it. You've stepped back to the shore, watching the waves crash. And from that place of awareness, you can act, not react. The 3-step ritual. This is your immediate action tool. Train it daily. Pause. Even for a split second, halt the immediate mental rush. Breathe. Take a deep breath and exhale slowly. Activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Question: is this within my control? If it's not, it is not worth your peace. Marcus Aurelius called his calm a command, not a comfort. The Stoic path doesn't ask you to be numb, it asks you to be sovereign. You still feel everything, but nothing owns you anymore. Your action today. In one situation that frustrates you, apply the 3-step ritual from the milestone technique. Watch what happens. 3. Stop expecting fairness. This sentence might sting, but it is the truth that will set you free. The world does not owe you fairness. Every time you expect life to play by your rules, I worked hard, I deserve this. You hand it the power to break you. You can be honest and still be betrayed. You can be loyal and still be left behind. You can give your best and still lose. That is not injustice. That is reality. Once you stop demanding fairness, you stop suffering twice. Modern culture is obsessed with equality of outcome, not equality of effort. We believe that if we do everything right, life must reward us. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Do the right thing because it is the right thing to do, not because it guarantees a result. Marcus Aurelius ruled amidst plague and betrayal, yet he never cursed his fate. He wrote, "You can commit injustice by doing nothing." His point is simple. The only injustice you can control is the one you commit. What others do is beyond your reach, and therefore beneath your concern. When you expect fairness, every disappointment feels like a personal attack. When you accept life isn't fair, you become unbreakable. Every rejection becomes a lesson in resilience. Every failure becomes a mirror reflecting your next step. You stop wasting energy asking, "Why me?" Instead, you ask, "What now?" Life is not a courtroom, it is a battlefield. Fairness is not guaranteed, but discipline is always within reach. Injustice is inevitable. Seneca was exiled by the very emperor he served. Socrates was sentenced to death for speaking truth. If these masters of wisdom couldn't escape unfairness, do you think you will? Stoicism is not about making life fair. It's about making yourself strong enough to face it when it's not. Every time you feel wronged, pause and remind yourself, this is not personal. This is the nature of things. Then, redirect that energy into your discipline. If the world won't give you what's fair, give yourself what is within your control. Effort, integrity, and clarity. The Stoic warrior chooses to act with justice, not to be treated justly. That is the difference between a victim and a warrior. Your action today, when something feels unfair, say this to yourself: it wasn't supposed to be fair. It was supposed to make me stronger. Fairness is not promised. Discipline is. 4. Focus only on what you can control. How much time in your life is wasted trying to control things that were never yours to begin with? You worry about what people think, what they'll say, how they'll respond. You plan every outcome as if the universe follows your schedule. And when things don't go your way, you panic, you spiral, you lose your peace. The truth is, most of what keeps you up at night lives completely outside your control. Epictetus, a man born a slave, became one of history's greatest philosophers because he mastered one rule most free men never learn. He said, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." That is the entire map of freedom in one sentence. Stoics call it the dichotomy of control. In your hands, everything you think, feel, or do. Your effort, your words, your attitude, your character. Not in your hands, everything else. Other people, outcomes, the weather, the past, the future. The moment you forget that boundary, you suffer. You can't control what others say, but you can control what you repeat to yourself. You can't control if someone loves you, but you can control if you love with integrity. Most people are exhausted not because life is hard, but because they fight battles they were never meant to fight. They argue with reality. The Stoic warrior asks only one simple question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, he lets it go, not because he is weak, but because his energy is sacred. Picture your peace as a fortress. Every time you stress about what's outside your control, you open the gate and invite chaos in. But when you keep your focus on what is truly yours, your thoughts, your actions, your character, you become unshakable. 5. Practice voluntary hardship. What if the very comfort you cling to is the thing actively destroying your strength? We engineer our lives to avoid pain, but in doing so, we forget how to endure it. We have heated homes, instant meals, soft chairs, and in exchange, a fragile mind. We confuse comfort with safety. But comfort has never made anyone safe. It only makes you dependent. Seneca urged us, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest fare and with coarse and rough clothing. And ask yourself, is this the condition I feared?" This was not poverty. This was training. He called it voluntary hardship, a way to rehearse misfortune before misfortune arrives. When you've practiced living with less, the loss of luxury no longer terrifies you. When you choose discomfort on your own terms, you become immune to the discomfort forced upon you. We fill every void, scrolling, snacking, streaming, soothing. We anesthetize our anxiety instead of strengthening against it. We fear boredom, silence, being alone. But those fears are signals. They are calling you to train. The Stoic warrior does not wait for hardship to arrive. He deliberately walks into it, like a soldier sharpening his sword before the war begins. Imagine, for 1 week, you consciously choose the harder path. You wake up earlier than you want to. You skip the unnecessary meal. You walk instead of drive. Each small act rewires your brain, causing it to stop interpreting struggle as danger. The modern mind collapses under pressure because it has never been trained to carry weight. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but trained his spirit daily through restraint. He ate simply, dressed plainly. He didn't need luxury to feel powerful, because real power comes from self-command. This practice is not punishment, it is preparation. Life will take things from you: health, people, money, comfort. But if you have practiced letting go, you won't collapse. You will adapt. Hardship is no longer a surprise. It's just another rep in your mental gym. Your action today: choose 2 small hardships this week, for example, no sugar, no social media after 8 p.m. Do it without complaining. Let that discomfort remind you that you are alive, you are capable, and you are training for something greater. 6. Detach from outcomes. Love the process. Everywhere you look, people are addicted to results. They measure self-worth by likes, by numbers, by money, and by praise. When they win, they feel alive. When they lose, they collapse. We have turned life into a scoreboard, and in doing so, we have forgotten how to play the game. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same reason you use today." That sentence reveals the cure for modern anxiety. Because every time you obsess about outcomes, you are abandoning the present, the only arena where power truly exists. You do not control the reward, you only control the work. You do not own the harvest, you only own the planting. Stoicism understands success is a byproduct, not a pursuit. Think about how often you poison your own progress by expecting it to look a certain way. You start a project and demand instant results. You confuse effort with entitlement. Seneca said, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not." Detachment is not apathy, it is mastery. It means you care deeply about the process, but not about the applause. When you detach, something incredible happens. Your focus sharpens. You stop worrying about how things should go, and pour all your energy into doing them well. You shift from performance to presence. That shift alone makes you more effective. You are playing to your highest potential, not to your fear of failure. Stoic practice for you. At the start of every day, write 1 sentence. Today I will focus only on what I can do, not what I want to happen. The process is where virtue lives, where character grows, and where peace hides. Love the process not because it guarantees success, but because it makes you unshakable, even in failure. 7. Remember death. Live urgently. Most people live as if they will live forever. They postpone their dreams, they delay forgiveness, and they waste years preparing to begin. But the clock does not wait. Memento mori. Remember that you will die. It sounds dark, but it is, in fact, the most powerful reminder to live. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." He was not warning us about death, he was warning us about distraction. We drown in trivial things, scrolling, gossiping, worrying about what others think. Meanwhile, the moments that could make us truly alive quietly slip away. When you realize every breath brings you closer to your final one, clarity suddenly cuts through the noise. What truly matters reveals itself. The Stoic warrior does not fear death, because he is too busy living deliberately. He sees each sunrise as a gift already paid for, each conversation as possibly the last, each act of kindness as sacred. We constantly say, "I'll start when things calm down," or "I'll apologize when the time feels right," or "I'll chase my dream when I'm ready." The truth is, you will never feel ready. The perfect moment never arrives. Life is not a rehearsal, it is the main act. Every delay is a small betrayal of the time you have been given. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." For him, mortality was not a threat, it was a compass. It pointed him back to what mattered: virtue, service, and presence. The urgent question, what would you do differently if you truly believed today might be your last? Who would you forgive? What truth would you finally speak? What work would you stop postponing? These questions are not meant to scare you, they are meant to wake you. Death doesn't make life meaningless, it makes life precious. Stoic practice for you. Tonight, write down 3 things you would regret leaving undone if tomorrow never came. Then, choose one and do it this week. Don't wait for perfection, just act. Live as if time is borrowed, because it is. 8. Live by virtue, not validation. At the end of your life, no amount of external applause can save you. The likes, the praise, the admiration, they will fade faster than you think. What remains is the person you chose to become when no one was watching. Yet, most people spend their entire lives performing for approval, chasing recognition like oxygen, terrified of being unseen. The Stoic warrior knows the goal is not to be admired. The goal is to be aligned with yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That ancient emperor, amidst the political swirl and flattery, chose virtue over validation. He understood that external praise is unreliable currency. Virtue, on the other hand, is the wealth the soul never loses. The reality is this: when your worth depends on validation, you become a prisoner of perception. You live cautiously, always adjusting your behavior to fit expectations. You become polite instead of honest, liked instead of respected, visible but empty. The Stoic warrior refuses that trade. He acts with integrity whether or not anyone notices, because virtue is not a performance, it is a principle. It is the discipline of doing the right thing, even when it costs you something, especially when it costs you something. Speaking the truth when lying would make you popular. Showing kindness when it gains you nothing. Keeping your word when no one will find out if you don't. Those small moments shape your soul far more than any achievement ever will. Silent strength holds more gravity than loud approval. Seneca said, "A good character, when observed, delights, but when unseen, it still rejoices." Virtue is its own reward. When you no longer need the world's validation, the world loses its power over you. Stoic practice for you. Choose one core value: honesty, courage, discipline, and live it quietly for 24 hours. Don't post about it, don't mention it, just live it. Observe how it changes the way you walk, speak, and think. You act from virtue, not for applause. Conclusion. You have just journeyed through the 8 timeless Stoic principles, 8 profound ways to reclaim your power in a world that is constantly trying to steal it from you. Understand this: these truths are not here to make your life easier, they are here to make you stronger. Discomfort, control, acceptance, focus, discipline, detachment, urgency, virtue. They are the pillars that form your mental armor, a suit of spiritual steel that no chaos, no betrayal, no storm can ever penetrate. Because the goal is not to escape the pain of life, but to endure it with grace, dignity, and purpose. Stoicism does not promise comfort, it promises clarity. And once you see that nothing external can break the fortress within you, you will become that rare thing, a person of profound peace, standing immovable in the eye of the storm. If these principles resonated with your soul, if you felt that shift of power within you, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another piece of armor for your mind. Finally, comment one simple phrase before you leave: I am training. Let that be your quiet, sovereign oath. Thank you for watching.